Houston, we got a problem. The price of silver per ounce has just breached $101. Gold almost at $5,000 per ounce. Now, these traditional forms of risk hedge assets are going to new all-time highs, and I want to be happy for them, but I just cannot be that happy because Bitcoin is better than gold, better than silver in every way, shape, or form, but it's not seeing the same amount of price explosion. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why that's the case and why it means big opportunity. I'll also break down the price of the S&P 500. It is concerning me, and therefore I'm also concerned for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is much more correlative to the S&P than it is to the precious metals market, and we'll end off the video by giving Peter Schiff his rightful praise, okay? I know Peter Schiff is borderline delusional, but he's a nice guy and he's been right and we were wrong for the short term, right? Gold did end up outperforming Bitcoin. Silver did end up outperforming Bitcoin in the short term. In the macro, I think he's wrong. We'll also get into why. Crypto Kids, if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. We're very close to 65,000 subscribers. We're here every single day, breaking the markets to you in the best way that we can. So subscribe and destroy the like button while you're at it. It would mean the world to me. Over the past two videos, like over 1,000 likes, that's never ever seen before, for me at least. So thank you all so much. If we can keep it up, it would mean the world because it gets these videos pushed out to a wider audience, and hopefully you enjoy them. So it is a win-win. Make sure to do that. And if you have, let's go and jump into silver first, and then we will progress our way along into Bitcoin. So silver broke out from that multi-cycle cup and handle. We made a video with Carl a month and a half ago saying that we found the next big thing. Most people assumed it was an altcoin, but it was actually silver. You don't miss opportunities like this. When there is a commodity forming a pattern since the 1970s and you're on the neckline and JP Morgan is about to lose their short positions and get liquidated on them, you buy. And that's what we did. And that was around $40. We stated that if we break it, we're going to go to over 100. And now we're here. I think silver can go into 120, 130 potentially, but I've already started to take profits since $90. The thing with silver is it goes up fast, but the crashes that follow are brutal. So I'm taking money off of the table. With gold as well, I think gold will probably continue to go up in the more macro trend. It doesn't really seem to have the same potent crashes that silver does. Remember, there's $9.5 trillion to be refinanced this year. They're going to print more money. They already are printing more money. And with geopolitical tensions, fiscal policy concerns, and monetary policy concerns, people put their money into gold. I think that will continue for the next few years. You're seeing the ETF inflows for gold catch up with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's ETF was the most successful ETF in history. And now we're seeing, as Bitcoin consolidates, gold investments go to the upside. That's going to be temporary though, because Bitcoin is better than gold in every way, shape, or form. This was an interesting tweet that CZ posted today. He highlighted that in America, people are creating fake silver, fake gold, and they're fooling individuals. And there's really no way that the average person can assess if gold is 100% real or not. Okay, maybe this one is a bit more easier to verify, but on your gold bars, it says 99% gold, 99% silver. How are you going to do that unless you drill into its core and you do sort of, laboratory experiments? You can't verify it. It's very complicated. If you want to send your gold from country A to country B, how are you going to do it? It's going to be very costly. You're going to have to pay a lot of taxes, and it's just not convenient. Okay, you can't cut off slices of gold and start transacting with them in the store if money goes to zero. You can't. It's really inconvenient. With Bitcoin, you don't have these problems. Bitcoin, its authenticity is verified the moment you send it. It's verified by a multiple network, a network of hundreds of different GPUs, fully decentralized, breaking down the transactions and verifying if your Bitcoin is authentic or not. Right? You don't have these issues. You can send your Bitcoin from country A to country B in 10 minutes time for just a couple of dollars. It's really mesmerizing. You can send billions of dollars of it, and it's the same. It's the same process. It doesn't change like how it changes with precious metals. So I know that Bitcoin is better than gold in every way, shape, or form. Okay, maybe you can't produce things with Bitcoin. You can produce things with gold and silver. But the reality is that freedom of your money, freedom of ownership, is much more valuable than the production of things. That's my view. I think Bitcoin's unconfiscatability, the freedom it gives you to fully secure your Bitcoin for yourself, and it can't be taken away by anyone. In the 70s, your gold was taken by the government. They can't do that to you with Bitcoin. I think the freedom that Bitcoin gives you is more valuable than the production element that precious metals give. I think that's truly where Bitcoin really shines. So in the long term, Bitcoin is the asset that I'm going for as the risk hedge. People aren't. People are choosing at the moment gold, and that's okay because times will change. Times will change. People will adapt. People will understand, but it's going to be too late. At that point, Bitcoin will be the number one spot for global ranking of assets by market cap. It'll be worth tens of trillions. That's potentially a 10x, even maybe a 100x opportunity as money continues to debase. And I'm going to be the happy one. You guys are going to be the happy ones. To buy HODL for the next 10, 15, 20 years is my objective. And that's truly the way to get rich. From what I've learned, it's just buying Bitcoin and compounding that interest over the next 10, 15, 20 years. That's where the real wealth is created. So I don't have any doubts with Bitcoin in the macro. In the short term, I do. We have a bear flag. I don't like how this bear flag is pointing out to be. I think the 93K CME gap is going to close. It can close as soon as next week or the week after. But as soon as we do, I'm going to take profits off of the table. Not all of them, because I still want to see the 200 daily moving average retest. But once we close the CME gap, I'm going to take some profits off of the table. And when we get that 200 daily moving average retest, I'm going to start shorting. It's just for the short term. With derivatives trading, I make good passive income. And with the profits, I always end up buying more Bitcoin. It's two separate bags. My spot trading and derivatives trading, two separate bags. I still anticipate consolidation and bearishness for Bitcoin for the most of this year. And with that short position, when I close it, the profits I will put back into Bitcoin for long-term holding. The S&P doesn't look good, okay? I know precious metals look amazing, but they look amazing due to uncertainty, due to fiscal instability, monetary policy instability. The risk on markets, they don't like that. They don't go up when there is concerns. They go to the downside. And with the S&P, we're breaking below a very bearish pattern at the top of a trend, a rising wedge. We broke down, we got the retest, we're going to the downside. It's giving me 2000s dot-com bubble vibes. I'm not a fan of it. Bitcoin is so much more correlated to the S&P 500 than it is to gold. Yes, in the long term, everything just goes up because they print a lot of money. I know, I get it, but in the short term, it's concerning. So that's how I'm going to be positioning my capital, fully based off of that thesis. Guys, before we leave this video, I just want to say congratulations to Peter Schiff. Look, he's been on the channel. He's a lot less delusional in person. I'll tell you that. He's a funny guy, classy guy. But yeah, he was right. You know, he was right. Silver, gold, they're outperforming Bitcoin. What can we do? What can we do? But it's just the short term. In the macro, it's going to change. When you look at gold versus Bitcoin, it's down 99%. It's going to keep going down. Temporarily, Peter Schiff is right. He's an old guy. So let's just give him his praise. And then we're going to be the winners in the long term. Okay? Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic Friday and a fantastic weekend. I will see you all tomorrow. Take care. And as always, bye-bye.